Awesome. And I also read a recent article from the Gravity Bridge Chain team, from the Althea team, I guess. And it sounds pretty much that they're potentially the first ones to implement interchain security. I'm not sure, maybe Billy or Bucky who has insights on that, but is that what it is kind of like the Gravity Bridge Chain, the first use case for interchain security? And if so, is it going to be directly deployed on the Cosmos Hub? Or is that maybe something where also this Sega network comes in, that you can first test it out on there and then launch it on the hub? Or what's the game plan here?
Yeah, current game plan is that Gravity Bridge will adopt interchain security as soon as it's available. I mean, the complication here, of course, is that the Gravity Bridge launched, and that was actually why we were really in support of it launching as an independent chain, so that it could launch as soon as possible. We wanted to get asset transfers moving from Ethereum as soon as possible. Of course, that project has been incubated inside of Interchain Foundation in many ways. The technology, we've been working with closely with the team for a long time. And when it comes to projects, especially like bridges, they really need to have high degree of security. And so that's why they would especially benefit from the Atom as the sort of staking token, which has the correlation of the security for the total value locked, et cetera. But the network launched, and it's currently producing blocks with its own validator set, which is great because that's how blockchains work until interchain security is released. As a chain who's launched with a token that's currently being used for two different things. One is for inclusion in the validator set to produce blocks, and the other one is as a governance token. It means that it will be able to run independently until it decides to update and adopt interchain security. Of course, it's a decentralized network, and it's composed of real people in the world and validators. And so we can build the tech, and we can be involved in the project, and we can work closely with the Althea team and develop all the technology. But ultimately, it's going to be up to the network itself to make these changes or adopt these changes. And so we can show everybody the door, and we can explain why it's really great, and we can make it prepared and ready to use and easy to use. But decentralized networks are decentralized, so we'll remain active there and continue to sort of develop in this direction because I think it's really a great option. When it actually would occur, we're going to be able to see the first instance of a Cosmos chain that has two tokens, one for staking and one for governance, which I'm really excited about. And so Atom, of course, would be the sort of staking token there. And then governance token would be what the Grav token currently does. And what's really interesting is that the governance system actually stays preserved in exactly the same way you're used to it in the current system. So you have, instead of validators who you delegate to produce blocks and vote on your behalf, they become purely governmental representatives, and they could still charge a commission. So it's sort of like this really wild system where there doesn't have to be limited to 150 or 200 validators. You could actually have thousands of them because their job is not to be infrastructure node operators. Their job is to be keyed into the community, paying attention and actively participating in the direction of the network via governance. And it still makes a lot of sense to use delegation here. That's what liquid democracy is all about. And on top of that, you have this really cool economic incentive to be a good active governmental participant. You want people to delegate to you. You can still charge a commission rate because you're producing value for the network. Every time a block is produced, you can take some of the block reward, and that still goes to governance holders, still goes to Grav holders, but you still want to have a portion of that budget that goes to security, the same way you want to have a portion of that budget that goes to the community pool. So I'm really excited to see kind of a first of its kind, multifaceted economic system that is also coming from a really ambitious route, which is that it's hitting the ground running as an independent, and it'll convert compared to a couple of the other users that we have in mind for Interchain Security V1 launch, which we expect to sort of launch with V1 at the instantiation as new networks.
Awesome, excellent. Is there already, a lot of people are asking me this, is there already kind of like a timeline that you're targeting to launch? Is it Q1 or is it more towards Q2?
So the first public testnets, so the first private testnets will be the very beginning of January. We were sort of on the cutting edge of it this month, but just because we lose half this month basically to holidays, we pushed to January. The current thinking for the Theta upgrade is as soon as possible in Q1. Of course, with Chinese New Year, January is not a great time to try to coordinate network upgrades. So we're currently targeting early February. I think early February is too ambitious to see Interchain Security V1 on the hub. And so our current goal is Q2. So that would be anywhere between April, May, and June.